Hello and welcome to episode 23 of the Championship Rounds podcast. On the week of a huge fight, the rematch of the unified heavyweight championship between Tyson Fury and Oleksandr Usyk. There's an undercard that's not too brilliant. There's a couple of other fights we'll talk about, and of course we'll talk a little bit about the last weekend of boxing, which was full of upsets and quite good fights, but nothing spectacular. But the natural place to start is Saturday night in Riyadh. Oleksandr Usyk rematches Tyson Fury. In a fight that, you know, there's a lot of intrigue still for a lot of people, I think, Dan.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's lots of fights don't need a rematch, but this one did need a rematch. I think it was close enough for the rematch, and I think, especially with the success that Tyson Fury had, I can understand why so many people are intrigued.
I'm glad that they decided to do a rematch because, there's not really that many great heavyweight fights anymore, and that one was a fantastic fight.
Well, I mean,
Obviously, the
it's
first. Go on,
no,
Dan.
you go, Tokus. No, you go.
I was just going to say, first fight, it was really a fight of sort of three parts. Like, you can split that fight up into thirds, I think. The first 4 rounds, or sort of the first 3 rounds, Usyk swept, I think. In quite, they were quite quiet. Nothing really happened, but Usyk swept them for me. Then 4, 5, 6, 7, Fury really comes on strong. But there's a moment in the seventh when I was watching it back, and you just see Fury's gas tank just goes in the seventh, and like he did well to sort of still moments of rest and sort of make the end of the round quite quiet. But like watching it back, you could really see. And then obviously the eighth, Usyk has a really strong round, and then the rest is history.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised. Like obviously he's way past his best, and his gas tank has been on the decline for a while. But I mean, he was made to work really hard. Even in the rounds he was dominating, he was working really hard. Usyk was really putting on the pressure.
Throwing way
And
more than he usually does.
yeah, I mean, he had to throw more than he wanted to keep Usyk off him.
He's gonna have to do the same thing because that's what happens against every opponent for Usyk. He's going to make you have to do more than you'd like to do.
Yeah, plus a combination of in the first 3 rounds, Usyk really targeted the body. I mean, it's really, other than the big left hand at the end of the first and the big left hand at the start of the second, most of the punches Usyk landed in the first 3 rounds were body shots.
Which they didn't really like when you like watch the fight. It didn't really seem like those body shots to that flabby stomach of his will do anything, but it's obviously going to affect him, and it affect him pretty quickly.
Yeah,
He
that's what you
was
do.
tired halfway through the fight. So
You do it early, and then later on in the fight, like just out of nowhere, they take their effect.
I bet Usyk thought it was gonna be a little later than that, 7, 8 rounds. That was gonna take that huge dip like that. But he started literally in the first round with all those straights and jabs to the body.
Yeah, because even the seventh round, I mean, that was pretty close. Well, I didn't give it to Usyk, but I know
It
quite a few
was.
people
And you
did
could
give it to
you,
Usyk.
you could give it to him. It'd be like Usyk the first two, and then like Fury 3, 4, 5, 6, and then the seven was like really like the closest. 7 and like 12 were like the closer rounds of the fight.
Yeah, I mean, I think 3 and 7 were the closest. I mean,
The seventh,
I see loads of people did give Fury the 12th round. I don't see it watching back, but I mean, he did finish the round strong, I guess, in the last 40 seconds. That's what people notice. I don't think he won the round. I mean, he was losing the round for 2 minutes, started doing stuff, and went on equal terms for the last 40 seconds.
It's just like definitely no case, in my opinion, of Fury winning the fight. But it was like
yeah, I
it's
think
not like
the
it's not
12th
like he got washed.
was pretty clear to Usyk, but all three the box rec judges all gave it to Usyk though, which is a more accurate judge. Like that first fight for me, I scored the first three to Usyk, 4, 5, 6, 7 to Fury, the rest to Usyk. I thought it was pretty simple to score. 7 was close. 3 was
I
close.
scored it the exact same watching live. I haven't scored it since. I mean,
I don't remember how I scored it.
I say like a round
I scored
closer
it the
if you
other day.
give.
Watching it, like
Yeah, a round closer if you give the third to Fury, but then again, the 7th could be given to Usyk. So I think he won 5 rounds. And let's say you give him the 6th anyway. I mean, the 12th. That's winning 6 rounds. He still loses the fight.
Still loses the fight.
He still loses the fight.
He can't. There's no. I don't think there's an argument for him winning the fight, but it's obviously monumental enough, like a first undisputed heavyweight title fight in 25 years. It obviously deserved the rematch. On top of it being great, like by itself.
it was a great fight. Firstly, secondly, there's no real clear challenger to Usyk. Like the other clear challenger, like fighter on form in the division, he's already knocked out.
Yeah.
Like he's knocked out Dubois.
He has like a couple interesting opponents he could fight, but they're not on form to like deserve a unified heavyweight title shot.
Yeah.
Or
they're fighting Dubois. Because the only other fighter you can really say that about is Parker, and he's fighting Dubois anyway.
I was about to say Parker is the only like top heavyweight on form that Usyk hasn't already beat up or knocked out. So,
and I don't think that would interest Usyk at this stage in his career.
This honestly could be his last fight.
I hope it's not. There's one reason I hope it's not, and we'll get onto that later. But honestly, the key to this fight for me, and it's always been this fight since the moment the 12th round ended in the first fight. The key to me for the rematch has always been pace. Whoever sets the pace in this fight will win it. It's like that's the most simple way you can look at this fight, and it's the most obvious way. Like if you let Usyk set this pace in this fight, Usyk is going to be dominant. I think. I can really, really see Usyk being dominant here.
Unless he lost his legs and stamina overnight, that's exactly what's going to happen again.
Yeah, but I mean, can he even slow him down? He didn't like slow down like the pressure, even when he was. I mean, let's be honest, beating up Usyk. I mean, he didn't slow him down. Can he slow him down?
I feel like those rounds 4 and 5 are like pretty damn dominant.
Like he needs to slow the pace. Like the pace of the first 3 rounds. If that's the whole fight, that's good for Usyk. Not Usyk, Fury. That's good for Fury, that pace. The rest of the pace is not. And like Usyk, he just gets better and better as the fight goes on. I mean, I don't know how he's going to fight because he says he's going to be heavier. But he had his success boxing and keeping the fight at range, sticking out the jab.
Fury said he's going to be even heavier than he was.
Yeah, he's going to come in heavier.
Yeah, he's just not going to be able to do the same amount of. He's not going to be able to even like attempt to match the pace then, where he was actually having success of doing it for like a little bit. He won't have any of it.
Look, the only thing I can assume that he thinks is he's more comfortable being heavier now. I don't know. But he didn't have any success with his like come forward bully Usyk style because Usyk just threw him off.
A lot of a lot of people just think the bigger, stronger guy is going to automatically win a clinch, but there's undeniable skills that you have in the clinch to like wriggle your way out or to maneuver people into like.
Yeah, I don't think Fury won a single clinch. Like, he either
Yeah,
got
because
just shoved off like that.
Yeah,
The infamous one in the 12th round where he just threw him off and threw him in the corner.
yeah, like he did the same. He threw AJ off him as well. I mean, I guess they just realized that Usyk is a lot stronger,
it's not
than
even
they,
just strength. Like
and
it's
he's smart and
it's
knows what he's
knowing
doing
how
up
to
close.
maneuver that weight on top of you. Like the arm movements, the way he uses he used Fury's weight against him in clinches. Like so he'd let Fury sort of lean on him and then swivel, and it like Fury's like can't set his base for shots because Fury's then off balance. Like there's intricacies to clinch work that like a lot of people just don't realize. There's like immense skill in being able to dominate clinches. It's not just you run in and grab someone. Like, and that's one of the Usyk's like best attributes: the ability to control clinches, especially against these big guys.
Yeah,
Which is why the first fight it was so stupid that people are like, oh yeah, Fury's just gonna run forward and lean all over him and like smother him and like never against Usyk. That's never gonna happen.
He's not gonna outpace him. Like honestly, at this point, the best chance Fury has is to clip someone who has never had the inclination to be clipped. So, like, it's not happening. I don't think.
look,
This is a man who took a clean flush, fully loaded up right hand from Murat Gassiev straight on the chin.
And a fully loaded Anthony Joshua uppercut.
Yeah, like
Good douche. Like, nah, it's not happening. Like he did. Fury is the only person to like. I feel like visibly hurt him.
yeah.
Where,
I mean,
like, where the legs went.
yeah,
But, like,
he was definitely hurt in that 6th round.
it's not going to go past. Like it's not gonna. He's not gonna get more hurt than that.
Look, I can't see him being able to keep up the boxing for enough rounds. I don't think he can do that with his legs.
He got up to 7 rounds this time. If he's going to be heavier, and I guess plant his feet more, he's not going to do past 3. Like it's not.
Yeah, because he needs to win 7 rounds, and like a lot of the rounds are going to be close as well. Is he going to win 7 rounds clearly? Can he do it for that long? Just
the thing I worry about.
Will he get dropped again?
He doesn't need to win 7 clearly.
well, yeah, I guess he doesn't.
Yeah,
If
like
he's not.
the judging was appalling in the first fight, and without that knockdown, like that fight gets scored a draw. Like people, you know, like there's definitely there's definitely a home fighter in this fight. Definitely.
Yeah.
They definitely were pissed the first time that he didn't win.
I think his best bet is to just try and get him out there in the first half of the fight. I think that's his best bet. I don't think he's going to do it because he saw how much success he had boxing and things like that. If I just take it a bit more seriously and not clown about, then you can do it. But that's not the case. I think he just has to go in there and try and take Usyk out.
So do I.
And I don't. It's just not going to happen.
He either needs to take him out, or he needs to put so much of a beating on Usyk that Usyk just can't do anything.
Yeah, yeah.
Like say he just batters Usyk. Usyk's been down a couple of times. He's cut everywhere. He's swollen everywhere. Then he manages to survive. Fury gasses a bit, and he goes to points. He can win that way, but he needs to do some significant damage in this fight early.
Because
really significant.
Like for all the success that Fury had on the outside, he's letting Usyk fight his fight that he wants to do when he comes forward, pressure fight. He's letting Usyk fight his fight. I mean, Usyk can fight on the back foot, but obviously he's better coming forward with that footwork. and that pressure and those angles.
It's going to be great again, but
I mean, I don't know if it's going to be as good as the first fight.
I don't think it's going to be. It can't be.
I mean, it could be.
I think Fury will sell out, and it will be really entertaining.
I mean, he has to.
Yeah, I think
he has
will.
to.
Like,
he has.
Well,
it might be entertaining. It might not be like a evenly competitive fight. Is what I'm saying. Like it could be entertaining, and one of them just get beat on. Most likely, Fury getting tossed around, but
like historically, like the rematches for great first fights aren't as good. But I mean, there has been occasions where they are. There has been occasions. Sure, Israel Vasquez or bloody
Manny Pacquiao and Marquez.
Some super featherweights from the 1980s.
But other than that, most duologies, trilogies, they like fall off a significant cliff from the first one. And I'm not gonna lie, you guys might think it's. I don't think it's gonna be. It's not gonna be. I don't think it's gonna be competitive. To be honest, like nowhere near competitive the first one.
I think it's sort of weird the first fight because a lot of the rounds weren't necessarily competitive because like a lot of the rounds there was a dominant clear winner.
Competitive fight as a whole. I know there's like if you split it in thirds, like you said, it's like clear section, clear section, clear section. Yeah. I don't think that there's gonna be one big, like one majority clear section here. Like not for 3 or 4 rounds, it'll be like 8.
One thing I will say for Fury, I've never seen anybody be able to take a section of a fight and dominate Oleksandr Usyk the way he did.
He's never. No one's taken that many rounds consecutively.
Like he was dominant for like 3 or 4 rounds of that fight.
Yeah, I mean, when we were watching it, we were just like, oh damn, Fury's.
This is over with. Yeah. He's not just like that. Usyk's not gonna come back into the fight.
Like, yeah, Fury's crazy. He's gonna stop Usyk in a couple rounds.
Like shout out Ali Raderick. He stopped tweeting like for a while. He stopped tweeting for a good amount of time. Yeah, for like 20 minutes he didn't tweet. So.
I think Fight Ghost put a tweet out. Shout out to him. And I was like checking the live odds as I do mid-fight, and I think Fury went into something like minus 33,000 or something. Or minus 3,300. Sorry, minus 3,300. Like he was a big favorite in round 6. And those type of prices in fights, like that's usually when like a fight's about to be stopped, or it's over. Like that fight was done in terms of the betting market, and then sort of there's a little bit of success in the round 7, and then sort of round 8 happens, and it piles back to even money. Like
Usyk just I don't even know what the term for what he showed so much like determination and just flipped the whole script around. Like he honestly looked like he was on his way to get stopped. The way he was getting dominated in those like 5-6 rounds, it didn't look good for him. Like his chances of winning another round did not look that good. And to think that arguably if the fight wasn't of its magnitude, that he should have had a stoppage win like 2-3 rounds after he was on the verge of getting stopped. It's crazy. Like he arguably was robbed of a knockout.
Yeah, I think that 9th round, the issue wasn't that the ref,
Mark Nelson
didn't step in. It was that he got in the way. He was in the way of Usyk for quite a lot, and secondly, like when Fury first falls into the ropes, if you're going to call like a rope held you up knockdown, that's the point you do it.
Yeah, when he got hit with that like last big one where he knocked Fury off his feet, like in the neutral corner that Usyk eventually like went into, the knockdown should have been called right there.
Yeah, like there was multiple occasions where you can call a knockdown there, and when you do it on the last time, it looks like you're saving Fury.
It's weird. We talked about this yesterday. That was how many knockdowns has Fury suffered? I think 8.
8. Yeah.
And every single knockdown except that one, he's just took in one punch and just hit the floor. That one, he took like 25 seconds to just like a succession
Took a
of
beating.
every other punch. Pouchett, Cunningham, the 4 Wilder knockdowns, and Ngannou, they've all just been one and he just hit the floor. But this one, he should have honestly got like a TKO loss. The way he was getting beat on, but he might have the best recuperative powers the sport has ever seen. Honestly, like
He looks
there's
relatively
like Holmes
fresh.
and like Chacon and people like that who have like insane recuperative power. He's taken so much. It's like if you like. It's understandable not to like Fury, like as a person, maybe sometimes even as a fighter, but like his determination is like insane in the ring, like generationally insane.
Yep. And as Toggles was about to say, he did look pretty fresh in the next round. Somehow.
He just seemed like he was not.
Yeah.
It seemed like Usyk had just kind of punched himself out.
Yeah.
Really.
Like if you just turn on the TV at the start of the 10th round, you would never have known that he just got battered and nearly stopped in the previous round.
Not just
It
the
was
previous, like literally like 70 seconds before.
It
That's
was
crazy.
like he was just. It was like he just lost the 9th round normally, sort of thing. That's what it looked like. Like, yeah, he lost the 9th round, and like he lost the 10th. Like it was just like he was not hurt, but he just lost it, sort of thing. It's ridiculous. But like, there's a question mark over how many times you can do that.
And he's done it. He's done it a lot of times, but that's the first time I seen a tweet mentioned about the Ngannou one where it was like I said like a one punch and he hit the floor, but then he didn't really look the same like for the rest of the fight, and then like in other rounds got like beat on, and then
Yeah.
this one he like it was the same thing. He got hurt really bad. He got dropped, and then he he didn't win. He probably didn't win another round after that. Like he's starting to like just he's just starting to lose now. Like he's not like actually recuperating and like coming back like all the other times he
I agree.
got hurt, got knocked down in like 1 rounds and got knockouts after he was hurt.
I agree, but this is Oleksandr Usyk. Like, I don't think I've ever seen Oleksandr Usyk lose a round in 10, 11, or 12.
Exactly.
Like you might have a point, but it's also Usyk. Like, he just doesn't lose those rounds.
I say that's what I'm saying. I think these last couple of Fury fights, it's like Saad Muhammad. Like you can't have all these like miracles anymore. And then he like got up to Cowie and he couldn't get like through all the damage he took. He like used up all of his luck. Like I think Fury's like damage taken luck is just gone. I think he's used all of it.
Yeah, I mean, it did take him a couple rounds to actually start properly doing something again. I mean, usually when we do see him get dropped, he does like win the next round, or at least win the rest of the round, like he did against Wilder, because he couldn't win the next round because it was the final round.
Right, but even like the third fight, he uh, he arguably won every round in the third Wilder fight, outside of the knockdowns in like the first, really.
I think he lost the first and second.
I mean, not the first. I was gonna say like he dropped Wilder in the third round, and then he got dropped himself in the fourth round, and then like Wilder, with how like big he was, he couldn't really generate any speed really. So it was like 5 through 10 was kind of just like slow beating, kind of. But I think he's used up all of his recuperativeness is what I'm saying.
Look, like he is 36, and like I made this point on Twitter in the week a couple of days ago. Whose sort of mid to late 30s legs do you trust more? Usyk or Fury's?
Usyk.
The
The guy who takes the sport seriously and doesn't
hasn't shit punishment like that
yes. And all the stuff he's done outside the ring, alcoholic,
bad.
drugs,
Yeah.
blowing up in weight so much. Like Usyk doesn't do any of that.
That's gonna catch up to you, and like it's definitely affecting him in camps. Like
It has caught up to him. I just think he's just really good and he can get past it there against the likes of Wilder and those guys, but obviously not against Fury. I mean, not Fury, Usyk.
in sort of fantasy land, I really, really, really would have liked to see sort of a 2015 Fury against this Usyk.
Yeah, 2015 Fury.
A 250-pound Fury.
Because that's a Fury that can actually box. I mean, he boxed at that time, and he could box for 12 rounds.
Yeah, and he was doing like a really, really good pace for 12 rounds, and like that was peak Fury, in my opinion. That sort of Chisora rematch, Hammer and Klitschko run, that was like the peak Fury.
Yeah,
He was like so good at that point.
I mean, he switched southpaw and just battered Chisora for 10 rounds in that rematch. He fought him the whole fight southpaw, just battered him. A lot better than he did in the third fight, even though he battered him badly in the third fight, but he looked better doing it.
I'm really excited for this fight. But I think we all
I'm conflicted on my prediction though. Like I'm picking Usyk, but I'm not really sure.
Well, I'm not conflicted on my prediction.
I'm not conflicted either. I'm very, very, very sure of how this fight ends.
And I know Talker's prediction. I know my prediction because I said it yesterday.
What is it?
I think Usyk's gonna win a decision, and Talker's does not because I know his prediction.
I don't know if this is the specific fight. Like how I said, his recuperative powers are falling off. I don't know if it's falling. It's like the first Usyk fight was the end of it, or if he has a little bit more in here.
Look, I think his recuperative powers are fine. I just think like he can't do much afterwards.
And I also think he's starting to go from shots that he wouldn't have been hurt by. I also think that's the case as well. I think he's just going to stop him,
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, he nearly did in the first one.
It might change in the next couple of days before the fight, but right now I'll probably say a late stoppage for Usyk. Like 10.
I can see it a bit earlier. I can sort of see a condensed version of the first fight. I can see Fury really coming out and trying to stop him. And then when that doesn't work, he's gassed out. Usyk's so accurate. And like Usyk starts sort of the pile-on in round 5 of this fight. Not round 7. Like, and he's constantly accurate. And I just don't think Fury has the legs. Fury can't do 12 rounds. Like, he can't do a good 12 rounds and win. And like, I don't know, Usyk's pace, pressure. I think Usyk, in the back of his mind in this fight, will know as well. Like, look at this whole promotion. Look at the way sort of Mr. Turkey is acting. Look at the sort of the money's in a trilogy fight here. The money isn't in Usyk winning. Like, the best result for pretty much everyone financially involved, apart from Usyk's team, is Fury to win. Like, I think he's going to know in the back of his mind he needs to stop this kid.
It does seem that in the 2020s, at least, excluding Chisora, that Fury in a 12, like a fight that nearly goes 12 or is 12 rounds, he doesn't really look that good. It's like Wilder, Valine, and then Usyk. He's like not really doing the most.
And Wanning's not that good anyway.
No, I know that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, like, yeah. Like, even that was 2019. That's over 5 years ago.
2019. Yeah.
That's like, yeah, I've never seen a fighter as clutch as Oleksandr Usyk in this generation. He is, when the chips are down and he needs to pull something out, he does. And I think he's going to bring that into this fight. He knows he needs to stop Fury. He needs to stop Fury because they almost robbed him in the first fight. And like, his British boxing judges, like, Jesus. Yeah, man.
It'll bode well more for him if he does stop him.
Well, I mean, I think Fury's going to box. Just from what he's saying, I think he's going to box. Which is why I think it'll go pretty similar to the first fight. I think maybe he can probably survive enough to go the distance. I think he's going to win less rounds. He'll probably win
instead of like 5. He'll win like.
Look, he'll probably win the early rounds, but then Usyk will turn it on and just win like possibly like the last 9 rounds in a row.
I've got a question.
Yes.
If Fury goes down, like actually goes down, not held up by the ropes, do you think he has it in him to get up?
He's not ever going to slay on that floor.
Look,
No,
I don't think
when he's so tired and like so dazed and like I don't know, man.
I don't like Fury. If he's hit the canvas, and even if he doesn't make it in time, he's going to get up off the floor.
Look, Fury is a lot of things. Aquera is not one of them.
He's not.
He's getting up.
He's going to get
Look,
up.
unless he's out cold, he's getting up.
But the thing with Fury in my mind, like he's that type of person where he could just jack it in.
He'll
No, you get these people that would like, just in my mind, like I see him as this sort of weird character that might just. There was that look in the eyes and either the first or second Wilder knockdown in the third fight, and he's sort of laying on the canvas and he's sort of thinking, like you can see the look in his face, like, oh my god, I'm doing this again. I'm down again.
Yeah, but he always does it.
And you can see it in his face. He's like, do I really want to do this?
Yeah, but he got up.
And then
but
even if you think about it for a second, he's going to get up. He's not. He'll never degrade himself in that ring. He might degrade himself and damage himself outside of it. In the ring, he will never. I don't think he'd.
So sure.
I don't think he'd ever.
Look, I don't think he can ever like do that. I mean, especially like with his family and stuff, he can't quit in the ring.
I don't know, man.
No, even you don't even need to include that though. Him as a person, he's not going to just slay there and take a knee or lose a corner side. He's not going to do that. He's not going to allow that to happen.
Like even if he's getting up like Burbick against Tyson, he's going to try. He's going to get up.
Even if he's all over the place, he's going to stand up on his feet. Like
yeah,
it's not.
But like, more like, does he have it in him to beat a count?
He might not, but
if he's so tired,
he might
he's
not.
So like,
You're saying if he's gonna pack it in, he'll never pack it in. He might lose by knockout. He might get counted out. He's never going to stay on the floor.
But if he can get up, he will get up.
I'm not so sure. He's a weird guy, man.
Yeah, he's a weird guy.
He might be the weirdest guy, but he's not a quitter.
I don't know.
You do know.
I'm not so like after the career he's had, and he's already lost, and the fight's going against him, and he's been dropped a couple of times, and it's like, does he?
If you think he's a mental case, don't you think it would be kind of like fitting that after probably taking a battering that he would try to get up? He's going to get up.
I don't know, man.
He will never not get up from a knockdown unless he is unconscious.
I don't
Unless
know.
he is snoring on the floor with his eyes in the back of his head, he's not gonna just lay there.
Maybe. I don't know. It's just something that I've been thinking about. I'm not 100% sure on that. You're probably right. He probably does get up, and he probably does fight on. But there's a little niggling doubt in my mind about him really, really wanting to like go through hell again to try and win this fight after all the times he's done it, like over and over again, going through these wars. Like, I just don't know, man. It gets to a point where you've made all that money, you've won every belt in the sport, you've done all this stuff, and you're like, this kid's just better than me, and there's nothing I can do.
What you can do is get up and try and go the distance, man.
What if he gets up and goes down again, and then gets up and goes down? Like, is this thing in my head? I've got this thing in my head where I can see it getting so dominant that like he just.
Yeah, but if he keeps getting up and going down, then I mean, I guess the ref will just wave it off eventually.
That's one thing I don't see, by the way. I don't see someone getting stopped standing here by the ref.
Oh,
Because it's such a fight. It's such a big fight.
if they go down so much, let's say someone gets dropped like 3 times
Tim
in
Tszyu
one
did.
round, and then the next round they get dropped like twice, then the next round they get dropped like twice. I mean, come on, they're stopping it.
Yeah,
I think the corner gets there before. In all honesty,
good.
But
Like
yeah.
if you, I'm saying, like if he taking a life altering beating, someone should stop the fight.
Well, I mean, I think Usyk wins. I mean, I'm not ruling out a Tyson Fury stoppage. I don't see him winning a points decision, but I'm not ruling out Tyson Fury stoppage.
Yeah.
I don't think Fury can crack this gym. If I'm being honest.
Well, I mean, he definitely
Hit
made
it.
some dent in it. He definitely made some dent in it in the
He
first
landed
fight.
his best shots and ended up taking a bit of a beating, and that's the worry.
Fine. Look, all he has to do is land those best shots earlier and still have the gas tank in him for a few more rounds, rather than in the 6th round landing it after have to work so hard. And you never know. Because, I mean, Usyk, like, he was like, oh, after the fight, it's like, oh, damn. Like, that's a real heavyweight shit right there. Like, that was tough. That round was tough for him. And he knew. I watch me talking about going back down to cruiserweight, man. Don't rule out Tyson Fury.
It's just like, yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's gonna be as competitive, but it should still be entertaining. And it's still like a monumental fight between.
I mean, it'll be good.
Heavyweights of this generation, like it's gonna.
2 best heavyweights in the
gonna
world. It'll be good.
It'll be good enough for what they are. I am really interested to see how all the belts like fragment off after this fight, though.
Look, if Usyk wins, and it's not like
He might end up with like 1 belt left,
and it's not controversial or like close, where it could go either way, I want him to retire. If Fury loses, probably want him to retire. If he wins, I mean, he'll probably want to fight again, but I'd like both of them to retire. To be honest, they're old.
They're pushing
man.
40.
Look, the only problem is like if Fury wins, he won't have become undisputed, and he'll want to become undisputed, so he will still fight.
Yeah.
You're missing one key thing with Fury.
He is an idiot.
There is an Anthony Joshua fight sitting there, regardless of the result of this, and regardless of any result. Tyson Fury against Anthony Joshua sells out Wembley, regardless.
Could sell out 2 Wembleys.
Could sell out about 20 of them. Like, that fight is massive. And like it or not, these two can take as many losses as they want. That fight's still massive. I mean, look at Khan against Brooke.
That's probably going to happen. Like,
It will happen.
But for Usyk, he doesn't really have anything else. So, like, he conquered cruiserweight. He conquered heavyweight, really. And if he beats Fury again, stops him or dominates him to a decision, who do you want him to step down? You want him to step down to fight Parker and Zhang? Like, there's like no point for him.
There is one, or there are 2 fights for Oleksandr Usyk.
If you say a prospect,
That's going to be
I'm going to
Dubois.
lose.
I'm not saying any prospects. I'm not saying Dubois. I am saying there is a division that he hasn't fought in yet.
Oh, go away.
So
No one cares
we're gonna get to the undercard now. Yeah.
Oleksandr Usyk needs to fight at Bridgeweight before he retires.
Look, if he does fight, I just don't want to see him at cruiserweight.
All I'll say is, please God, hold on to your titles before. But like, what boxing cannot have is Kubrat Pulev being upgraded to a full heavyweight champion. We can't have that.
Well,
Just
if
please.
he's gonna retire afterwards, maybe it's better for boxing that Fury wins because Fury won't vacate them straight away. He'll keep them and probably fight, and Kubrat Pulev won't become a world champion.
If Fury wins, I'm convinced there's a trilogy after this.
Well, yeah, I guess there will be. I'm pretty sure they've already started discussing the trilogy.
Probably. But yeah, like the lucky thing is there's no WBO mandatory because Parker's fighting Dubois. Zhang and Caballero would be the WBC, and like Pulev ain't fighting Usyk, bro. Like Pulev ain't getting mandated anytime soon. Like the IBF title's out the way. That's the only one that really matters when it's like being mandated. So like yeah, like they're free. These 3 belts, they can do whatever they want with them. But yeah, on to the undercard.
It's not good. It's not good.
Serhii Boachuk against Israel Madrimov got cancelled. I wonder why. I definitely believe that Madrimov's ill. Madrimov is definitely ill. It's not fake. Definitely, and he's fighting Ismail Davis, who was just stood on his head by Josh Kelly.
Yeah,
I
late replacement, like he was for Josh Kelly.
I've said this to a few people. Ismail Davis, inspirational story, is obviously a real fighter, will take on anyone. He's getting paid really well, and I'm happy that he's getting paid really well. But all of this sort of gimmicks and stories and all of this just doesn't mean anything. He's getting battered.
He's gonna give it a go, and it's not going past 6 rounds.
I hope he doesn't take too much punishment. That's what that's what you can really say here. It's one of them ones where it's like he's a good kid, and you just hope he doesn't take too much of a beating.
Like Boachuk is like not an elite fighter, but he's shown he's like an actual like a top fighter since that too. But like since the Adams fight, he's actually like grown as a fighter, and he's like developed more skills than just being like a huge puncher. He's going to put a shellacking on Davis.
I hope his corner have the towel ready from the very first minute of this fight. And they should be quite liberal with throwing it in. They should just like if he's taking a bad beating in the first round, towel in, get him out of there.
Yeah, because let's be honest. I mean, if he's taking a beating, it's not like one of those ones where he could bring it back. He can't. He just can't.
He can't. But like, you think with most punchers, they don't have like the strongest chin. Belichick's chin is kind of stupid. So
Look, Boachuk was eating Virgil Ortiz punches. I mean, he was like hurt a couple times, but I mean, he was eating. And he said that Virgil Ortiz doesn't punch that hard as well. Which
he probably doesn't. I was like, he probably doesn't punch as hard as he used to. But
well, I mean, he's fighting bigger guys, and he's also fighting now in 12 ounce, 10 ounce gloves.
He's also boxing more than usual. But
look, I'm going to call BS on that he doesn't punch hard, but maybe he doesn't punch hard as Boachuk expected. I don't know.
I was supposed to say he might have not. He must have thought if he hits me clean, I'm probably gonna hit the floor.
Yeah, because
he said he didn't really like move anywhere. So
he said he doesn't understand how Ortiz had 100% knockout ratio.
I could see that probably.
Well, I'll tell you how. Because he stops everyone.
But yeah, this fight's not. This being like a co-main event to like a rematch of one of the best heavyweight fights of the century is kind of nasty. But.
Is it even the co-main event?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
Well, that's bad, isn't it? Well, this card isn't.
Well, I was gonna say, anyway. Would you want the Big Bosh as the co-main, or? There's literally no other like fight on here that deserves to even be up that high.
Look, Stick. I don't know.
No.
Isaac Lomica.
No, no. I just literally it like Boachuk's name is the only thing that shoved him to the top of this.
Boachuk's performance against Ortiz shoved him to the top of this.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't know. Stick Moses Hammer co-main event. Why not?
But his opponent is not good.
It's fine.
Well, I think we're all in agreement. Boachuk knockout inside 6 rounds.
Yeah. I just hope it doesn't get too ugly. It could.
It could easily get very ugly. And that's like, yeah. God, there's really not much on this card. Isaac Lowly McGregor. Yeah.
Just not.
I think this will actually be quite an entertaining fight.
No, they could be good, but it's like, what have we done?
But man, like, from what I've seen, neither of these get near Nathaniel Collins in a boxing ring. That's all I'll say.
I don't even know who wins. I think Liam McGregor's better. But
I'd pick like a McGregor decision, I guess.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean,
I think McGregor will stop him. To be honest, I think Lowe's a bit of damaged goods coming into this fight.
Possibly, like we don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it should be the best fight on the card outside of the main event, probably.
It's the most competitive match fight on the undercard, definitely.
I mean, it has potential to be pretty bloody good, to be honest.
Like a British bum off, like it's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Like it could be fun, it could be a stinker. Like it's one of those fights. But yeah, what Lowe tweeted a few years ago.
Yeah.
Peter McGrail in what should have been the best fight on the undercard until Dennis McCann, big up Dr. Riz and that, get on all the gear.
He had you see that he had 2 substances in his
more than 2.
body. Oh, well.
More than 2.
Frank Warren said that his urine test came back positive, but his blood test came back negative.
McCann's done. Like
it's just over with.
Oh no, McCann isn't done because we don't care about Jog's test. What Jog Bloody cheats in boxing. They always get an
No,
opportunity.
He'll get a 2-year ban,
he'll have a co-main event in Gibraltar. Like,
He'll get he'll get he'll get a 2-year ban, and no one will know about it. He will just come back like Conor Ben did.
He'll come back on a York Hall card on a Friday night. And yeah, no one cares. Like Kid Galahad, nobody even talked about that when he was winning world titles, did they?
No.
But yeah, enough about him. Reese Edwards is actually a decent, like late notice replacement. He's been in camp. He was meant to fight in January. But yeah, I think McGrail was like a quite good fighter. Like he's just a bit chinny. But I think he will do a job on Edwards, to be honest. Like especially on late notice, McGrail's footwork's quite good. And I think he's a good fighter, but like yeah, it's just the chin that's the issue. But Edwards can't really punch, so I think Foster will stop him. McGrail will stop him late, not Brad Foster. Jesus Christ. But yeah, they've both actually fought Brad Foster, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, Edwards definitely have.
Yeah, McGrail just stopped Brad Foster, I believe. Yeah, in 2 rounds.
Yeah.
We're gonna pack it on the McGrail knockout, probably.
I mean, yeah, he should, because he's like a mixture of Lomachenko and Bam, isn't he?
Yeah, man.
You just have to say that. You just have to say that.
Look,
He might be better, man. I don't know.
Man.
I'm just quoting what they were saying on the public weigh-in, which is still going on.
I hate you.
Although
Moses Salma is fighting the Australian Kubrat Pulev. Like, I guess this is a decent step up, but Dempsey McKean is genuinely one of the worst heavyweights I have ever seen in my life be world ranked.
look,
Like,
I mean, I don't mind it.
I just think he's terrible.
I
don't mind it.
Anybody going to points with Bracamonte off a full training camp, like in 2022?
Look, there's probably a possibility he gets like done in a couple of rounds, but you know he could go a bit more, make it to like 6 or something. Who knows?
It's just a matter of how good McKean's chin is, to me.
Or
like he's gonna take a pummeling, and it's just when his shin goes.
Or if Atama just looks really bad, because man,
Yeah, I mean you can't look.
He should be knocking.
You can't look good every time. And I mean, he nearly went the distance with Hrgovic.
Yeah, but Hrgovic, like,
until you get it
is the most notorious first gear merchant in the entire sport. Like, I don't think he's ever gone into second gear in his entire career. Hrgovic, apart from like the first 2 rounds against Dubois.
And
yeah,
that didn't work out for him.
Yeah,
but I think he could, take Atama a few rounds. I mean, he should get stopped.
A few, as in 3.
I mean, he could make it to like
7,
6 or 7. But
McKean's feet are so slow. His jab's so slow coming back. He's just so stiff and chins up in the air, and he's big straight. Like he's just, oh god.
Because I mean, the thing with
video you keep spamming all the time.
Yeah, because the thing with Atama, I mean, like he's like really fast, and he's coming to hurt you and knock you out. Like he's coming to do that.
Yeah.
Like there's real intent there to do some damage.
Again, we're lodging all the Atama knockout inside.
Is this the first time Atama's fought a southpaw as a pro?
Probably,
but yeah, he was battering southpaws in like the U4 championships as well. So I don't really think it makes a difference. But yeah, on to the better heavyweight prospect. That's a joke. Johnny Bosch against Dave Allen. If Lad Bible could make a fight, this would be it. Yeah, Johnny Fisher's gonna batter him.
Look, I have a little bit of hope in Dave Allen.
You've been
Look,
hearing him
A
speak.
bit too much.
Have you heard him speak?
yes, I have because I watch his
Exactly.
YouTube channel. Look, yes, he had some trouble saying exhibition, but maybe that's not because he has brain damage, and that's just because it's one of those words he can't say.
Are you saying that people from Yorkshire can't speak? Or is that what you're
It's just
saying?
just him.
Oh, still, yeah.
Just there's just like people just have like those words that you just can't pronounce
Yeah.
or just say.
He used has quite a lot of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, he's very experienced. No one really no one takes my early, do they? Really? He could like cue his way around. He kind of he's good at like tucking up and like rolling with shots. Maybe he takes Fisher a bit. Like he did against Nick Webb. Obviously, Nick Webb isn't Johnny Fisher.
Thing with Fisher, like, he's not very good. Like, he's
he's not good.
really poor. He's really poor. But he's big, he's strong, he can punch, and he trains properly.
Yeah, and like he has intent. Like it's a big thing with an intent.
Yeah.
Like his hammer has intent. Like he's trying to knock you out. And he did just kill what's his face, didn't he? But
Not literally, but yes, Alan Babbage, he knocked out in a round.
Alan Babbage is absolutely terrible. Bloody Dave Allen would chin Alan Babbage.
I'm trying to think of like the word. Solomon Dakers would probably chin Alan Babbage.
Look, you pull some random woman off the street who's like 47.
Pushing a stroller.
Claretta Shields probably knocked out Alan Babbage.
Never thrown a punch in her life.
Savannah Marshall, genuinely, I think Savannah Marshall would probably knock him out.
That's too much, actually. That's too much power.
Look, if you pulled Tanisa Rashada out of retirement, she might do a job on Alan Babbage.
What is this episode become? Anyway, we're moving on from that card. Great main event, nothing else. Yeah, there's two other world title fights this week. One's Thursday in the Dominican Republic in Santo Domingo. Eric Rosa faces Naida Valdez for the vacant WBA light flyweight title, vacated by Kenshiro Taraji. Actually, there's two belts vacated by Kenshiro being fought for in the next week or so. There's one on St. Stephen's Day. Carlos Canizales out in Thailand, but this one you've got to make Rosa quite a big favorite. Like, this Valdez kid knocked out by Eric Padillo in his only real fight so far in his career. And he's just been like a load of 6 and 8 rounders and then a knockout loss in his only real step up. I haven't seen him. I'm not gonna pretend that I have, but Rosa is a very solid fighter at these weights.
I do hope to see Rosa back on form. It was that weird situation with Fresh Mart all those years ago, where it kind of set him back a little.
Yeah, when he always got arrested in Thailand for
almost arrested. He got put in a hole basically.
Yeah, he got put in jail.
He got put in a Matilda Miss Trunchbull hole in Thailand. Bro, that's crazy. But I think he'd be a good champion. In the what's the word? The succession of Kenshiro's 108 era. Him with who are the other 108 champions? We got Ibuki. Oh, it's literally just Ibuki and Iwata. So, and then it'll most likely be Canizales. So it'll be
I really think Rosa against Canizales would be a fantastic fight.
That'd be really good.
And
even Ibuki Iwata, them fighting each other would be pretty damn good too.
Yeah, there's a lot of good fights. 108 right now is not really like a really, really strong division, but it's like a really fun division. I think there's a lot
It's
of
like
really good fights.
it's like a little bit like worse. 54. It's like no one's like great, but then they're all like competitive with each other.
Yeah.
And like with
Industry there.
most divisions where the like main champion or like unified champion, whatever, like moves on, and they just kind of leave a bunch of people that like that they already beaten, and then like not really good fighters. It's like it's like most of the time the division's kind of like dead for a while, but this one is still like pretty. It's like pretty good.
Yeah, there's like a lot. There's a lot of good fighters. There is a lot of good fighters. Like, man, even Elwin Soto is still hanging about. Like, and there's the
We do not
Filipino.
need to see. We do not need to see Soto anymore.
There's AJ Pasiones, who the Filipinos are really, really raving about. Who was meant to fight for the WBA, but they messed them about with it. Um, there's good fighters everywhere, man. There's like there's a lot of good fighters in this division, and I think they'll get made because it's like the only way they can make money at these weights is by fighting each other. But yeah, Rosa should be winning that fight pretty comfortably.
This other title fight.
The other title fight is on Saturday, in Japan, which is quite weird. But Rene Bibiano is fighting Wilibaldo Garcia for the vacant IBF super flyweight title in Shizuoka. On a Koki Kameda card, Rene Bibiano is one of these weird guys because, like, obviously the Kameda's connection to Mexico. They've signed a few fighters out there, and Rene Bibiano has been one that they've signed and has risen up the rankings. They've got him in for this world title fight as the home fighter in Japan. He's fought in Japan a couple of times. He fought Hiata Hinada, who was a really good prospect, and knocked him out. And yeah, like this fight, I have no idea how to call it because, like,
I'm not familiar with Garcia. I recognize some names on Bibiano's resume, but it's just like it's kind of like one of those just one of those IBF title fights. Like it's like the main champion, like Martinez. I don't know why he was really forced to have to vacate his belt. It was kind of stupid. Like him rematching Yoka was kind of like needed for like how great Yoka's been like in his career. But and then the belt to like fall to people like that who aren't really near championship level is kind of I don't like that really.
Yeah, well, it is what it is. We're here now. Like, I remember like Garcia losing to Paul Butler, and like he lost to Santiago, and like it's just been a really weird career for him.
His best one's Dwayne Beeman. Like, what do we?
Yeah,
This isn't world level.
but like this should be a really competitive fight. I think. Like, whatever you say about it, like I think they're going to be very well matched, and I think it'll be a good fight.
What, two Mexicans fighting each other.
One keynote for this fight as well. It is in Japan, which usually means the North American market can't watch it. But they are starting this event at 12:30 in the afternoon, which is 9:30 in Mexico.
And bloody 3:30 for us, and
yeah. But
does it 7:30 for Taj?
like it's a good time for the North American market, and they've done that deliberately because it's the first bout on the card. And yeah, there's a couple of really interesting prospects on that card and not much else. But yeah, that's about it. For the weekend boxing, obviously there's.
I think Viviano's going to win anyway.
So do I. I just think he's the home fighter, and I think he's got momentum more so than
I think he's going to win a decision.
Probably.
I mean, I haven't seen I haven't seen like loads of either of them, but I've seen a fight or two. I mean, I do remember him losing to Paul. Yeah, I definitely watched that back in the day. He lost a split decision.
He definitely lost it though. That card for him wasn't a good
Yeah,
card.
that card was ridiculous.
Usually you see split decisions like for the home fighter and like sort of assume they lost. Like, but that wasn't the case. Though.
That's not the case. No.
Yeah. Butler definitely beat him.
It was Howard Foster, by the way.
Yeah,
Of course it was.
Of course it was. Last weekend we didn't do a show, but my God, Bruno Saratz knocks out Jaime Munguia with one shot after losing every single round. What? That's upset. That's upset of the year. Wow.
I don't think any other fight this year could like equal the upset anymore. Like it was like the Steed Woodall knocking out LeBron Richards was pretty damn good, but this one is like on a whole new like world level.
Yeah, I mean that's upset of the year. Just done. Just kill that out right now. Actually, I do not think he lost every round.
Munguia's defense is
Because
so
look, the first round, nothing happened really. I mean, I gave it to Munguia, but nothing happened. Then the last couple rounds, the 4 and 5. I mean, Munguia lost those rounds. I mean, he was just so bad. I mean, he literally looked like he had learned to box like a couple weeks ago and just went in the ring and started throwing punches. His accuracy was so bad. But at least like there's like some kind of thought behind what he does. But I mean, he couldn't land much out. Obviously, other than the knockdown in the second round and the third round where he looked like, oh, he's gonna do what we expect him to do. But then, I mean, those loose ropes.
Yeah,
he was using them in. I mean, Munguia couldn't judge any distance off that. I mean, he looked lost trying to hit him. And he was getting hit so cleanly a lot. That right hand that hit him, he got hit loads of times by it before. And then he just stood there.
It's kind of sad because I don't really know where he can. Like, he's gonna have the rematch, obviously, but I don't really know. He probably won't. He probably won't sniff Floyd level ever again. Like it's
Look, he probably can maybe come back from that, but I mean, I don't think this was a fight where he's absolutely dominating, pummeling his opponent, and then just got caught by one shot.
It's not like that. It's like he's regressing, and he hasn't really even had a prime, to be honest. Like he'd have at his own prime, but it was like too early, and he was like growing still, and then that's why he's at this like weight now.
His prime is a bloody 154, where he was twice the size of everyone he was fighting.
He's had like a Fernando Vargas prime, really. Like it's like too early. It's too early. Now he's not even I don't even think he's like 28.
That's what happens when you use your head as defense.
I know his defense.
Because this isn't even like a guy who gets hit a lot, where like you can like he's like rolling with punches, taking this thing off. No, he just gets hit flush all the time, just using his head. And I knew like his chin wasn't gonna last like as long as you thought when he was getting hurt off Spike O'Sullivan.
Yeah, he's having those wars with exactly. He was getting hurt by O'Sullivan. He's going life and death with Tariana Johnson, Gabe Rosado. He was losing every second of the Kilrain Kelly fight before he got the stoppage. He obviously had the war with Derevchenko. Yeah, Dennis Hogan, he lost that. Ryder, it seemed like he was like, oh, okay.
You know what the difference was there?
John Ryder.
Roach in that corner, man.
Yep.
That's Freddie Roach.
Freddie Roach was working wonders with him, man.
Look, if you have
his defense was so much better.
If you have like
significant difference in his defense.
Yeah, I mean, if you have an offensive fighter like Munguia. I mean, Freddie Roach makes sense. I mean, the trainers that would make sense for him are Freddie Roach and Robert Garcia.
Yeah.
Not Eric Morales. Sorry, Eric. You're a
Just
great
don't get the
fighter, but
Morales thing. Like, what's he done? What's
it's
he done
just
for
the
a
fact.
trainer?
It's just the fact he's Mexican. It's both Mexican, I guess.
Oh, he's a Mexican legend. It looks good, and I can, I'm trained by this macho Mexican legend, and look at me. Like, no.
Because lots of great fighters, I mean, they train you to fight how they fought.
Yeah.
And you will never fight like Eric Morales, so you can't do that.
Because Morales had like a great gym.
All time chin.
And it
It seems like Munguia does not have that anymore.
That's probably because he's taken 5 billion punches in his career.
I was like, this, like, not even just this, like, it would be this decade. He's fought a lot in this decade, but, like, just the last 3 fights. He was losing to Brazilian before he stopped him. Like, it's just not there anymore. I don't know. I don't know how a rematch would go, to be honest.
I think
Like,
Munguia would
watching-
win a rematch.
I would probably pick him because I would hope that was just a miracle punch, but it's kind of not, though. Because it's not like he hasn't taken a beating before.
Look, there was a downward trajectory in that fight going for Munguia.
I was to say, who knows what would happen if, say, if he didn't get knocked out or he didn't like get hurt in that round. Who knows if it just wasn't there yet? Like it's just gonna happen in 7, 8, or 9 or 10. Like it probably would have happened anyway the way he was fighting, regardless of Saras having nearly no knockouts.
Like, whether Soros actually would get the credit and win the rounds he was winning, well, clearly not, because most people seem to think he didn't win a round, which I completely disagree with. Watching that fight the day after.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know how. I mean, how do you come back, like mentally, after getting one punched by some random French guy who has no knockouts?
There's nothing going on there anyway, if we're being honest. So like, like there's nothing going on in between.
Right. Well, the little bit that's in there, how do you come back?
I don't know.
He has to chin him like worse than he got chinned to like really be back for himself.
Yeah, because I mean, he landed like an insane left hook and couldn't stop him. I mean, that's a bad
the
look.
bad thing about this is this kid's a middleweight
Yeah, he is.
who can't punch, and has been going life and death with journeyman in like the Marseille club and stuff like that. Like, this ain't good. This really ain't good. Like, it's one thing getting knocked out by Eric Brazilian. Like, but he's getting knocked out by comeback opponents. You know what I mean?
He's like this was supposed to. This is a nasty mismatch on paper.
It was like,
And it just should have been. It was.
This is the fight that he should have come back to after Canelo. I gave him a lot of credit for taking the Brazilian fight after Canelo because Brazilian was rated top 10 by Ring. He was an okay fighter. Yeah, the Shaquille Finn fight was a bit dodgy, but he's a decent enough fighter. This is the sort of comeback fight you take after a Canelo in your hometown. Like, not, and he's just got stopped by him. Like, this is probably the worst fighter he's fought this decade. One of them. There's a couple of really bad ones actually in Mexico.
Corey was really bad, but he's one of the worst.
One of the worst. But yeah, man, like this is awful. Really bad. Like he'll win a rematch, but like I don't know where else he goes. Yeah, I agree. Monaco. Akhmadaliev beat up Espinoza. Not much really to say. Total mismatch on paper, total mismatch in the ring.
Yeah.
Did exactly what he was meant to do. Stopped him in the third round.
See, that's why I wanted. That's why I wanted the fight. I mean, how much like more hype was there for an Inoue fight after he's actually
Exactly.
fought?
Yeah.
That's why I
Yeah.
just wanted them to fight. Just be active. Like
Well, now he's not going to fight for another 8
Look.
to 10 months now. 'cause-
like he knew, like he fought what's his face, Gonzalez in the eliminator in December, and he knew in March that he wasn't getting the Inoue fight for a bit because obviously Inoue's fighting in May, so that fight's not happening at least till October or August or September, and he could have fought then. Why didn't he fight then?
No, he waited a year instead to fight 3 rounds. Where you could have had that fight like 8 months earlier, and then had another one in place of this one with a better opponent.
Because I mean, he should have known he wasn't getting it after, even after Neri, because the WBO ordered their mandatory before the WBA. I mean, I don't specifically know what order it's meant to be in, but the WBO ordered their mandatory first because Sam Goodman's been his mandatory for ages.
Look, man, like he just needs to stay active. He'll get the Inoue fight next year. He'll
Like, he's
probably get
going
it
to
in
fight him.
December,
Like,
October, or November in Saudi.
he would
Like-
Ahmadaliev should be
Yes.
fighting on the biggest card he can. There's rumors of this Riyadh card in March. Yeah, big rumor of it. You fight on that card.
Yeah,
Fight on
like,
that card
you know,
against
he
anyone.
got his #1 rating to be able to fight in a title eliminator without even fighting.
Yeah. Just stay, and this is the thing. Staying active is good for you.
Yeah, why do you want to go into an Inoue fight being inactive?
Like, get paid, get active, get another campagna. You know, keep working, keep ticking over. Then you can go into it like.
So even good better for him if you like fought Tapales again. To be honest, in this space he's
I
waiting.
doubt they can make a Tavares fight, but like
Just anyone.
No, just anybody. Period. Like
Anybody,
he
yeah.
needs to fight, but like to even add more, like there's already like he just needs to fight to create buzz. He would create more by avenging his loss that he shouldn't even lost in the first place. He would have been got the title shot. He's been practically begging for if he didn't lose to a fighter he should have beat. But yeah, like in the
Look,
space you know you cannot fight anyway. Fight.
Go and fight
Like
Elijah
they
Pierce.
just fight.
Go and fight Elijah Pierce. Here you go. Because you'll knock him out as well.
He'd probably knock out Tapales at a rematch. Like he just needs to fight anybody at this point. If you want to keep fighting Francos, sure, but fight 3 of them in the space you know you're not going to fight a title fight.
Yeah, because now he's not gonna get the Inoue fight till maybe December.
He'll get it in October or November. There's a Riyadh card in October. He'll fight on that. But it's what it is. Like, just stay active. Like, this whole ducking thing's ludicrous because he'll get the fight. Everyone knows he'll get the fight. They're just screaming.
He
they're
would have
idiots.
already got the fight.
Yeah. So
Look,
like,
It's not like he like beat Tapales and has been waiting this entire time, or he already like beat Tapales on a rematch and been waiting. He's just sitting here and just yapping.
he's silly.
look, you lost and have fought one guy. Don't moan. Even if that one guy was a title eliminator, stop bloody moaning. Like it's not like you beat some great guy in your title eliminator. Anyway,
He beat Kevin Gonzalez.
But anyway,
he'll get the fight. It's fine, and he's a good opponent,
yeah.
and it'll be.
And he'll
Okay,
get
fine.
stopped as well. He'll get battered because he's too slow. He'll get Inoue will absolutely batter him, especially after what he's been saying. Like,
You know,
Ahmadaliev's
he
way
might
too
look like the Donaire rematch. To be
Yeah, I mean he didn't make that tweet, but that tweet is crazy.
Yeah.
the seppuku.
Yeah, that tweet is crazy.
Insanity.
I don't know why he let anyone do that tweet.
I had to
Go.
check.
What I was about to say, I didn't know what that meant, and I looked up. I was like, huh?
No, I knew what it meant. I had to check the account.
Oh,
I was
like
like,
if it wasn't like a parody or something.
yeah, like this could be a fake account here. Like there's, and then there's like, oh my god, Matchroom and Eddie Hearn are following it, and like everyone's like, this is the real account. I was like, what are you doing?
Like, that is crazy. That's insane.
But yeah, we'll quickly move on. We're running out of time a bit here. So Maxie Hughes, UD's Gary Cully.
Yeah.
Gary Cully, awful fighter. Simply put, he's awful. He's not good.
I feel stupid.
He's been awful since the time that Craig Woodruff nearly stopped him and got robbed. He's been awful. He was awful when he was blasting out 45-year-old featherweights. He was awful when Jose Felix iced him. He was awful when Reese Mold beat him and got robbed. He was awful when Patera beat him and got robbed. And he was awful when Maxie Hughes flogged him after being ill all camp and not sparring.
Look, I mean, I'm not saying it was an obvious prediction, but I mean, if you've seen either of them fight, I mean, Maxie Hughes is so much better than Gary Cully. Even a washed Maxie Hughes.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I did that, because I thought he was just kind of like there.
Look, my prediction for Hughes' decision was on the basis that Hughes is also washed. Like, Cully is just not good.
Which is even worse because he nearly stopped him. So
He probably should have stopped him.
He should have.
The doctor or the corner should have pulled Cully out of that fight.
Yeah, he should not have been made to go 10 rounds.
he didn't want to. I don't think Coley landed a significant punch in the entire fight.
No.
Like, he didn't. Like, it was obvious that he didn't win any rounds, but it's not like he even like slowed Hughes down a bit with like a big play. He did nothing. So
And I want to reiterate this. And we knew before the fight. Maxie Hughes did not spar this camp. He's been ill all of this camp, and there were serious doubts about whether he should fight or not. And then he went and battered him.
well, maybe he should be sick every fight then if he fought like that, because holy hell, he beat the hell out of Coley.
It's really bad, like in every single aspect. It wasn't just he couldn't pin Hughes down, and Hughes sort of did the Maxie Hughes thing where he just outboxes you. No, like Hughes set his feet at points in that fight and like was swinging with him and was beating him to punch. Yeah, like that was bad. Getting pushed back by someone that can't punch. Like, yeah. Gary Cully, like I seriously think Cully should have a think about his career. Like, yeah. Leonardo Mosquera beat Chev Clark by a split decision. Very good fight, very close fight. I just had Mosquera, but I can see Clark maybe just nicking it.
Watching it live, I kind of thought that Clark won, but that battle he took at the beginning was crazy.
I mean, I didn't really score it, but I mean, because it looked like Clark was doing a bit more in a lot of the rounds, but he was just getting hurt like whenever the punches landed.
Yeah.
Early on, I mean, like that couldn't have been a worse start.
First 3 rounds are.
Then, like, he kind of settled down a bit, got into a bit of a rhythm, and was like landing more. But Mosquera's punches, they were just having more of an effect and doing more damage. So, you know, I mean, he probably won, but it's fine. Could have gone either way. So
he'll probably get a rematch, and he'll. There's no way he fights worse than that. But
it's always been the problem with Chev Clark that he just takes too many shots.
You know, that Pochi fight was kind of worrying the way he was getting hurt. But
yeah. In Ontario, California, Alexis Rocha and Raul Carrillo fought to a majority draw in a fantastic fight. It was a fight where when Rocha could move his feet, Rocha was dominating, and when he couldn't, Carrillo was dominating in a very basic way of putting it. And a draw was a totally fair result.
Look, for the first 7 rounds, I mean, he was boxing really well. Then he just decided, yeah, I'm going to hold my feet and just trade with you. I mean, I thought Alex Rocha won, but, you know, draw is perfectly fine.
And then we get it again.
I mean,
Yeah,
that's like one of those fights where you're like, I
Yeah,
don't
sure.
mind it. I don't mind a draw. Like, it seems fair how the fight went, and then could have a great fight again.
yeah, really, really good fight if you haven't seen it. Over in Japan, Ryosuke Nishida stopped Anuchai Don Sua. For the first time he stopped anybody with a professional win to defend his IBF bantamweight title. Just sort of what I thought he'd do to this opponent. This opponent was awful. We said that in the preview. Nishida dropped him twice. Didn't really had a couple of early rounds where he's like figuring him out a bit, but yeah.
No, his defense is kind of.
I mean, he was getting hit a bit, but that's fine.
It feels like it's been a while since he's fought though. Like since he took all that damage against
It was May, yeah.
Rodriguez.
7
So
months.
if it was just like ring rust, then yeah, sure. But,
he got his second knockout.
he got he got a knockout. So
I'd say the exact time that Nishida Rodriguez fight happened. It was the Saturday morning, and you had Munguia against Canelo in the night.
wow,
Then on the Monday, it was Inoue versus Neri.
that feels like it was so long ago.
It was so yeah. On the 4th of May, I think it was.
Yeah, it's
Because
just
there was like a load of world title fights, and then Nishida went to Tokyo to watch Takai on the Monday.
yeah. Nishida's a goddamn good body puncher, man. It's like
Yeah,
he might be a top 10 like body puncher.
Yeah, he's so accurate. It does help when you're like twice the size of everyone you fight.
Yeah, I don't know how long he could keep being this weight.
Especially with the IBF.
He might be a featherweight, honestly. He's huge.
Especially with the IBF, man.
He's just gonna have to keep going.
He needs to unify.
Yeah, he needs to.
And there's talk of Nakatani in February, but I don't think that's realistic. But I think he will unify next year with Nakatani. It's just a matter of when.
He's got to.
Because there's that Akui versus Kenshiro card in February, and Nakatani's meant to be fighting on that. But like, it doesn't look like he'll get a unification. But who knows? Hopefully he does, but who knows, man. Sims 3 beat Taniguchi by a split decision in a very, very good fight. The IBF eliminated for number 2 at 108. Sims 3's a very good fighter, beat Miguel Fajardo, beat Taniguchi this year. Like, he's had a really good year. That was a really, really good fight, actually.
That's like really weird with like most of these Thai fighters that come over to Japan, they're really not good. they're kind of just there to be a part of the highlight reel. But Simsri is actually like pretty damn good.
And it started badly. Like, he got beat up by Yabuki, and then
this win is actually aging well.
Yeah, it's a really good win
because he's beat Asami, Fajardo, Gibanulas, and now Taniguchi. It's kind of
and now they could rematch for the world title.
Yeah, that's pretty damn good. His record looks so crazy: 37-1, 33 knockout. That looks so funny.
Who knows? Riko Kunamoto and Kazuto Takasako. They're ridiculous because Takasako knocked out Kunamoto in round 1 in 2021. They're rematching, and you're thinking, Takasako is probably going to win this fight. He knocked him out in the first round before. Kunamoto goes out there and badly ices Takasako in the first round. I've never seen anything like this. I've never seen. You've probably got some like random fight from the 1930s. Like,
okay.
When I can't remember a time where two fighters have fought each other twice and both of them have won by first round knockout.
Yeah, I can't really think of one that's like that. It's
ridiculous.
It is crazy, but well, do they have a trilogy? Like, I don't really like.
They should do.
Just schedule it for 4 if we're just gonna do it. They're just gonna do this. Honestly.
But yeah, that's ridiculous. It was a bad knockout as well, like really bad. There's a couple of bad knockouts over the weekend. If you haven't seen them, have a look on Twitter. Charles Conwell looked good against the awful mismatch. Lee Cutler against Stephen McKenna over 10 rounds was a really good fight in Liverpool. If you haven't seen that, but the main event of the weekend.
Oh
Dillian White stopped Stephanie Zatete
god, that just was not.
in car crash television.
That just wasn't boxing. I don't feel like. I feel like I watched like some WWE match from like 2010.
Ebenezer Tete, whose box rec says he's 36, but he's at least 54, comes to the ring in a polo shirt, sort of stumbling over. Dillian White then proceeds to start doing his sort of wolf hounding in an arena with nobody in Gibraltar.
15 feet away from the ring.
Yeah,
Yeah.
15 steps.
And then Dillian White starts showing life and death with someone. And if you haven't, there's literally been fighting in sort of the town square in the middle of Togo. With just picture picture a rural town in Togo. Yeah, where you get into the town square, there's no pavement, there's no tarmac, it's just mud. In the height of summer, put a ring there and put on a boxing event, and just imagine that in your head, because that's exactly where Ebenezer Tete's been fighting. And yeah, Ebenezer Tete had success, but he was just knackered.
And he just ate punches. Like
Yeah,
crazy.
he decided to have a crazy chin.
The fact that he never touched the floor is crazy.
Yeah,
Well,
and
he doesn't have a crazy chin though, because Dubois,
yeah, but Dubois hits just
Yeah.
ridiculously hard, and he hurt White numerous times.
yeah, he hurt White quite a lot, and White's just not got a chin.
I was like, White
But then,
thought he was James Toney when his back touched the ropes. I was like, what's happening right now?
I mean, look, occasionally he was looking okay with that defense. He's
White's terrible, man.
he's
What-
using
I
that.
almost went the distances.
He's using that Buddy McGirt style.
Dillian White looked exactly like Dillian White looks when he's off the gear.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like a
And
vibe.
the highlight of the whole night was so after Tete quits in the corner, he gets up immediately and starts shadow boxing around the ring. After he just quit in the corner. It was just it was car crash, man. Yeah.
Sports amazing.
Brilliant. Dillian White back in the mix. But yeah, what a way to end the episode. We started off with a legendary heavyweight fight and ended it with a legendary heavyweight fight. Hopefully you enjoy the fights this weekend. A historic weekend. All the links are where they usually are. And yeah, thank you for listening.
See you in episode 24.